In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. Who else do I have in the queue? None other than the Grand Imperial Danny Thompson. Danny, how you doing?
You know, football's first week over, WNBA's in the finals. What can you say? It's a good time of year.
Yeah, it is. Wait, let me turn this down because the audio, I hear a little backlash. I don't know how the audio is going to be. We're going audio only on this. I hope there isn't too much feedback, but usually Tony D is in the house.
What's up, Tony?
Tony, what's going on? I think Tony is on the Nonsensical Nonsense podcast live, and he's supporting us in the chat. So big shout out to Tony D. So a lot of different topics to get to. Danny, hope you're doing well. I haven't spoken with you, well, live on a show or on a podcast in a minute. How are you doing?
Can't complain. Life's beautiful. You take the good, take the bad, make everything beautiful out of it.
That's true. That's true. So let me make sure. Are we okay? We're live. We're live. We got. I hope there isn't this feedback. But hey, could you do me a favor and go to your Echo? Go to your settings and your audio and make sure.
Better. Yo, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, echo cancellation is gone.
It was on or was off?
I just turned it off.
Okay.
Live
Stevie Wonder, what's going on? Random multi-broadcaster. Yes, Tony D. Shout out to Stevie Wonder, who's also in the queue supporting us.
What's up?
Where do we get started? We don't have a lot of time, but Danny, want to ask you, we're going to go rapid fire.
All right.
Got a few questions for you. Yes, football is back. A lot of people are happy. Some people not so much. Still a violent sport. Still a lot of youths playing the sport, and it's a juggernaut on TV. I want to ask you specifically about, because we're on the dawn of Thursday Night Football on Amazon. Al Michaels, Kurt Herbstreit as the primary broadcasters. Andrea Kramer, Hannah Storm, and a whole host of alternative broadcasting, pre-game shows, post-game shows, $11 billion for the next 11 years. I'm going to ask you this question. Amazon, which has agreed to Nielsen ratings, they're telling Ad Age, they're telling their sponsors that they're looking at 12.5 million heads to watch this broadcast. I guess on an average, I'm sticking with the number of no more than 8 million people will watch it. And I'm only basing this number, Danny, on the fact that there might be 220 million Amazon Prime subscribers, but there's only about 80 million active users to Amazon Prime Video. What are your expectations coming up for Amazon Prime Video and Thursday Night Football? Leggy Letty, how you doing?
Honestly, I'm thinking between 8 and 10 million. And the reason being is this: people are going to look for Thursday Night Football, and they're going to look for where it's at. We're used to Thursday Night Football being, on NFL Network, or simulcast in most locations. So when they look to their local NFL Network, they look for something that is on a local feed and they see it not there, then they're going to be on the upscale of how I'm going to be able to get to Amazon Prime. Now, Amazon did the local markets a favor by allowing the game to be shown in local markets. So that's a good thing. But I think, especially with this matchup, no offense to Kansas City and San Diego, which is Kansas City and I keep saying the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers. It's still weird to say that. It's not the matchups that's going to get people running to Amazon in week 1. I think if you would have had the Dallas Cowboys playing on Thursday night, if you would have had the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you put one of those teams that everybody runs to television for, you would have found the subscribers. But I'd say 12 to 13 million will probably have by about mid-October. And as the matchups get better, I think we'll probably get to about 14, 15 million by the end of the season. I don't think you'll have the ratings that the Thursday night broadcast did because those matchups, they were just, their usual Thursday night matchups that nobody pays attention to. I think with a better schedule, we'll see more people. So I say about 8 to 10 million tomorrow night. I think up to 15 million at some point in the season.
Okay. So here's what I'm hearing, that Amazon is going to have extended support available to help people with finding the broadcast. So I guess, they're going big every which way, but you have to when you invest $11 billion over 11 years.
I think one of the good things is that during the onboarding process, they're allowing it to be shown in bars and restaurants, places where people go gather to watch football games.
Yes.
So you'll be able to see it in those. I'm not sure if NFL Plus will have it, because I know NFL Plus is a streaming service that the NFL has that they charge you per month. And I'm not sure if Amazon is in that field because they show a lot. They show the national games on national TV and your local games in your market where you can watch them on your tablet and phone and other places if you don't have cable. So I'm just not sure if Amazon's games going to be shown on NFL Plus, but they're making it accessible. They're saying, hey, come get this now, because eventually if you don't have Prime, you can't watch it. So we're going to be nice to you. It's like you get the free preview of HBO, Ted. You get the free weekends of HBO when you were growing in the 80s. It'd be on a Mike Tyson fight weekend or something. And then they sink you in to make sure you get HBO because, oh, snap, HBOs are great, but, it's just the first weekend.
Gotcha. So it still remains to be seen for what's going to happen on Thursday night. We shall see.
I'm excited. The good guy Michael Smith is going to be on the network. Taylor Rooks is going to be doing a lot of interviews. So it's going to be a lot of things. I mean, it's going to be a whole entire show they're putting on for the production. So
the most important thing is Fred Gaudelli, who produces Sunday Night Football, is producing Amazon Thursday Night Football. Yep. I think without a doubt, of all the stars, because it goes without saying, NBC does it the best. I'm sorry.
Agreed. Only thing that NBC's weak as is the broadcasting crew. Like their color commentators still struggling. It's not Romo.
Well, but Collinsworth just seemed a little under the weather because
Ted, he wasn't under the weather. Yeah, Ted, if you want to say he was under the weather, Ted, he wasn't sick.
Hey, I'm gonna leave that there.
Exactly.
Hey, I gotta ask you this question. What does it mean if Aaron Judge breaks Roger Maris's record of 61 home runs in under 154 games?
Congratulations. The record's still 73, excuse me.
What are your predictions on Aaron Judge betting on himself for this upcoming free agency period?
The Yankees better bring George Steinbrenner out of the grave to negotiate this one. Judge is going to take everything in the Bronx. He might even claim three-fourths of Manhattan when it comes to that contract. The Yankees should have got it done in the offseason. You allowed him to bet on himself, and he's going to break Roger Maris's record. He's going to set the Yankee record for home runs this season on his contract year. Ted, that checkbook's not going to be big enough. He might own Party Yes Network before this is over with.
What's the over under over under 300 million?
I'd say because Judge is what, 27?
Nah, I think he's closer to 30.
Okay, Ted, 10 years, 395 million, and everything is front loaded. That way the Yankees don't take it so bad in the back end.
Why not 5 for 250? And I would say I would have no problem with giving him a 9 to 10 year deal, but front load the first 5 years, team option, so that it gives that flexibility, because you're getting Judge. You're gonna have Aaron Judge 31 through 36. I give him 50 mil a season, and the team option at year 6.
Yeah, but but Ted, what do players want, Ted, with contracts? We just saw this with Lamar Jackson. They want security,
guarantees,
and they want security. In baseball, Ted, if you're 30 years old, Ted, and you sign a 5 or 6 year deal, going back into the market at 35, 36, even maybe to 37, you're not going to get that same type of money again. So when you get to around 30 years old, you're signing that 10-year deal. Because that way you're getting paid until you're Albert Pujols' age. So no, Ted, I see 10 years, 390 with 350 coming within the first 7 years.
Could you imagine the back end of this Mike Trout deal?
I mean, Ted, it's the same thing we see with Bryce Harper's deal.
Yeah.
The same thing the Padres are going to see with Fernando Tatis. Ted, the days of these 15, 16-year deals that are they're equal across the board, Ted, those days are about to end. I think Juan Soto's going to be the one that changes it.
What about Julio Rodriguez?
Well, listen, Ted, Julio Rodriguez, he's cashing in while the oven's hot. Because who knows if he has a year like this, Ted. He's the third player, I think, the last 10 years ago, 25-25. Right. And with 5 more stolen bases, Ted, he's 30-30. And if he really wants to get steal happy over the next 3 weeks, he can make 40-40. And gotcha. Ted, you remember how the 40-40 club was, when we were watching baseball in the 80s and 90s. Guys don't steal 40 bases anymore. And if they do, they're not hitting 40 home runs.
That's true. That's true.
So the Mariners locked him in. They got him on the cheap.
They got him on the cheap because there's so many incentives. I like the deal. I like it. 17 years, north of $400 million.
But the base is 210, I think it is 215. Yes.
So you hit these incentives, you get this extra money.
Yeah, you get basically your contract doubled.
So, hey, let's touch real quick on that mess in the NBA, WNBA, the Suns and Mercury owner.
Robert Sarver.
Sarver, $10 million fine, 1 year suspension for being a misogynist, a racist, and a sexist.
Yep.
How big of a whiff did Adam Silver make here?
Well, Ted, in baseball, he went 3 for 4. He almost hit the complete cycle. Only thing he didn't do is money laundering at this point, or anything involving, condominiums. He hit basically everything. Here's the problem we ran into, and this is discussions I've had with people offline all day about this. Was 1 year enough? Everybody's going to say no, and I don't think it is either. But here's why they didn't strip the franchise. Unlike Donald Sterling, where they had, recorded conversations, they had emails, they had him basically saying what he was doing. There was no evidence that put Robert Sarver in this light. Yes, there was over 325 people. And to me, that should be more than enough to throw somebody throw the book at him. It was almost 80,000. It was 80,000 pages, Ted, of written statements. You know, all types of information. The problem is, Ted, if you ain't got video or audio of it, they can't throw the book at you. And to be honest, Adam Silver says it's not my. I don't have the power to do that. You know why Adam Silver said that? Because the people cutting his checks are the other 30 owners in the NBA.
Yep.
But Ted, there's also the smoking gun no one's really talking about. If Sarver got evicted out of the NFL NBA owner club, Sarver was going to start chirping. It was
Not
like
everyone else.
Ted was like it was going to be the scene in Training Day. The only difference is Robert Sarver's Denzel. He was going to let everybody have it. And Ted, you know, we don't play. You know, owners don't want the game of Pandora's box being open. Even Mark
Right.
Cuban said that. You know, we start booting owners. We're opening a big box, which means, Ted, I guarantee there's more foolishness going on in the league, in not just basketball, but just in sports in general when it comes to ownership groups. Then guess what? Is being let out. And now, after we saw the findings of Robert Sarver, Ted, there might not be too many cases where owners get someone stands up against the owner. Because if Sarver would have been gone, could you imagine how many people would have went after other owners and the pressure the NFL would have had to get rid of Daniel Snyder, which should have happened a long time ago? Roger
Snyder
Goodell
and the other gentleman in Miami.
Ted, Roger Goodell is probably buying Adam Silver and Adam Silver's wife dinner in the Hamptons tonight. Like Adam Silver is probably getting a Rolls Royce for Christmas from Roger Goodell.
I mean, I'm sure the media informs us. Do these people do average fans, the everyday fans? I mean, not the novice fans that come once in a while, kind of like super fans like myself or like you, that we love these sports dearly. Do most people realize that these commissioners work for the owners?
I would say a good number. I would say it'd be close to a 50-50 split.
Okay.
Some people think that these leagues are ran by arbitrary people, you know, people who are bipartisan to both players and owners. Some people think that they have their own, because they have their own their own league offices, that they commission and police the owners. But no, the other 30, soon to be 32 owners in the NBA, they're the ones writing Adam Silver's check.
Right. So I'll leave that one there. Quick thoughts on Canelo and Triple G for the weekend. What are you expecting?
Canelo's still that guy. As much as I like Triple G, Canelo's gonna win this one again. I don't see why Canelo loses this fight.
Do you care about the December 3rd Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury match and the King of UK?
Yes, only because if Joshua knocks him out, Tyson Fury goes back into oblivion. Because if Craig David wins the world heavyweight championship in boxing after losing twice, Usyk is probably looking at Tyson Fury like the biggest idiot in the world. Because why would Usyk want to fight Joshua for a third time? Now he's gonna have to beat Joshua a third time to get the belts if Joshua takes him off the hands of Fury. Only reason why Joshua wins this fight, Ted, is that next Joshua then calls shots, and here comes Deontay Wilder.
Yes.
But Wilder would have to go through Usyk first.
Okay.
And then we get the unification about we all want it. Because if Fury wins this fight, if Fury beats Joshua, Fury still controls all the hands. And Ted, to be honest with you, where is this fight taking place at?
What? Joshua and Fury, UK.
So he got his British boxing license back.
I believe so.
Because Fury didn't have one. Word in the street was he didn't have his. That's why the fight had to be in Abu Dhabi, in Saudi last time around.
Only thing I know is
They agreed to terms.
They agreed to terms.
And I'm sure the British Boxing Federation will make sure that fight will happen in the UK.
So
can I hope that both fighters just tie and lose the belt completely at this point?
Okay, we're about at the bewitching hour. Hey, really quick, your thoughts on FS1? They redid the whole lineup. First things first is no longer first things first. I'm not sure. I get it for branding purposes, for the brand. The show that used to come on 7:30 a.m. Eastern time now comes on at 3:00.
Mm-hmm.
Cowherd is Cowherd.
Yep.
3:00 before that 3-hour block. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself is now Speak.
Yep.
The Carton Show, Craig Carton, 2.5 hours. Like, I live in New York, and so I know Craig Carton from Boomer and Carton, and now Carton and Roberts, and I know about his gambling issues and the Ponzi schemes and him going to jail and everything like that. At what point does he have a national appeal?
Ted,
I know
because
we're only 1 weekend. We're only 1 weekend, but I don't get it.
Ted, because guess what? People think because New York is it's a 7:00 show. He's based in New York. That's why you're going to put him on. That's why you grab him, because people in the New York area will gravitate to him, and you just hope that you can get major ratings in New York City, and then the rest of the country will follow. I mean, that's pretty much the only explanation I have for this.
We were talking a little bit off camera, during pre-pro, off air. Joy Taylor, she's done it the right way.
I love Joy Taylor when she does. I was hoping Joy Taylor would have had her own show. I was hoping she would have had her own show where she has rotating guests along with her.
Maybe eventually, because I think it's all about what's his name? Emmanuel Acho?
Yeah, I mean, Acho is FS1's guy, but
he's their guy.
Ted, to me, it's like we're wrestling fans, right?
Yeah.
And Ted, we know if there's a hot wrestler out there, Ted, that the fans love, the fans want to see. What do we want? We want to push them. We want to skyrocket them to the roof.
Yes.
Right. We watch AEW. We've watched how AEW has taken Jade Cargill and has skyrocketed her to elite status, to the point where she is the only woman on the AEW video game. Her belt, the TBS belt, means more than the women's championship, the world championship they have in their entire organization.
I know, that's crazy.
So she has elevated that, Ted. She started out her first match with a tag team match with Shaq and Cody Rhodes, and now they have skyrocketed her to the top. All FS1 needed to do, Ted, was give Joy Taylor her own show. She has it on Saturdays. They have incrementally putting her in the right spot. She went from being, the moderator on Undisputed. Then they sat her with Cowherd as Cowherd Scottie Pippen. Now you give her own show where she's flanked by, no offense, Emmanuel Acho and LaShawn McCoy, but this should be the Joy Taylor show at this point. I think they should have gave her Ted, give her the hour and a half and let her have guests on there. Let Joy Taylor show the magic of who she is, because people think, quote unquote, she's a pretty face. But if you talk to Joy Taylor's sports knowledge, her personality and charisma outshines the physical features of Joy Taylor. Ted, she has a chance to be a superstar in this industry. I think it's like they're waiting to pull the trigger, but they should have pulled it with this move. Like I
Okay.
said, I've watched the show. I think it's a good idea, but Ted, they should just gave her the ball and run with it. I mean, you give her 4:30 to 6:30 or 4:30 to 7, wherever. I mean, it's 4:30 to 6, but I think it should be a full 2 hours. Let Joy have different people on. Let Joy let her do a radio show on television. And I guarantee you, Joy Taylor will change a lot of the people's minds that I think that she's just, an individual or Jason Taylor's little sister or whatever thoughts they have about her. Because Joy's a superstar. She really is a superstar. I don't know. I think FS1 is doing well with the lineup. I'm not a big fan of Craig Carlton. I get why they did it. He's a New York. They say, people draw to New Yorkers. It is what it is. I'm not sure you could have used in that situation early in the morning. That was available and out there that made sense. But hey,
A 2.5 hour window they're giving this guy. 2.5 hours.
I mean, Ted. The question is, Ted, who are they? What are they going to put in that spot?
2.5 hours. I mean, First Things First, which had 4 people, and then now they shrunk it down to 3 people, was 2 hours. So I get it. He was a morning personality. You're trying to strike while the iron is hot. I get it. I get it. Hey, I have become a fan of Nick Wright. I do like First Things First. I thought I wasn't too favorable of it when it was Nick Wright and Chris Carter, but I like Broussard. I like Kevin Wildes, and Nick. They allow Nick Wright. So basically, the Nick Wright show, which is First Things First, you needed Joy Taylor to be set up just like that.
Yeah. Ted, what Joy Taylor needed, Ted, to be honest with you, you should have gave her a journalist and you could still go Acho, give her a journalist and let her be the star of the show, or Ted just give her a Colin Cowherd type of show and move out the way.
Gotcha.
Just move out the way and let her rock.
Gotcha. All right. Hey, last topic. I know we're running over.
No problem.
Last topic is today. The listing came out, 2022 PWI Top 500 list. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you, based on that list, from the top 20, who is your fave 5?
My favorite. So my T-Mobile favorite 5, huh?
Yeah, T-Mobile cut us a check for this promo right here.
I mean, listen. My favorite 5 out of the list that PWI had. I gotta give it an order or no order?
No order.
All right.
Or if you want to give it an order.
Okay. Well, I will go in order 5 to 1. So for me, in the last 12 months, the 12 months is from July 1 to June 30th, I would have to say, listen, Cody Rhodes had an amazing year.
Yes.
He really did have an amazing year. Not only transitioning himself from TBS champion to showing up at the Rumble, showing up at WrestleMania, to doing extremely well before his injury. And he was going to be slingshotted into the title picture before everything happened. But to go and be accepted back in the WWE after having that time off and doing amazingly well in those Hell in a Cell matches with not Moxley, but Seth Rollins. Amazing. Great work. So I have him at 5. Number 4, listen, Bobby Lashley gets overlooked so much. There's only so much Bobby Lashley could do without having beaten Roman Reigns in 1 year. Lashley's done everything you've asked him to do and more. So I think I'm going to have him at 4. Number 3, he is the lightning rod, but Ted, his appearance, All Out? The man sells out Chicago every time AEW's in town. Who knows if he's on this list next year? But CM Punk was the guy in 2022 that basically carried an entire brand. Number 2 is the guy that is arguably the best wrestler in the world. And if New Japan were to ever get a major television deal, Ted, when I say major television, where we can see them in over 50 million homes, he'd be the one reason why we watch New Japan every week, and that's Okada. Okada's that guy. And the number one, Ted, he is the number one guy on the number one wrestling company on the planet. He owns one but not two belts. He had he wrestles when he wants to, and when he shows up and wrestles, it's must watch. So, and Ted, the list he's beaten in the last 12 months, well, he has lost to it almost over 2 years. It's Roman Reigns. So you have to acknowledge him as the best wrestler in the world right now because he's unstoppable at this current moment.
The only reason I would stray from your picks, I'm a huge John Moxley fan. Went to go see him at a GCW card in New York. Well, in Queens, New York. Awesome night. And after the card was over, when the lights went off, he was out there talking with the fans, already promoting the next big GCW event where he was defending the title. It's my guy. I just lost my train of thought. The elite of the elite.
Okay.
Which is
Kenny Omega?
Kenny Omega.
See, Ted, the reason why I don't have Mox and Omega in my list of the top 5, remember, Mox took time off.
Yeah, he had a slight.
It wasn't slight, Ted. He took, 3.5, 4 months off?
Yes.
During that time frame?
Mm-hmm.
So, Ted, he had, Mox had a 35 home run season, but you can't be MVP, Ted, if you only play 100 games. And the same thing with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's been out for the majority of the year, getting his shoulder redone, and he was working on the AEW video game. But I expect Mox and definitely be in the top 5 next year. And, Omega is just working himself back into rotation now. So I'm sure we're going to get a Kenny Omega championship run before this is all over with, before the year's over with.
Final thoughts on, we were talking real briefly, really excited, NBA season. Blink our eyes, we'll be back at it. Want to talk about the new, I was almost calling them New Jersey, the Brooklyn Nets of New Jersey.
Okay.
The Death lineup: Joe Harris, Steph Curry, Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and of course, Mr. Miserable himself, Kevin Durant. Is there another lineup out there that could top them?
Yes, a team that can rebound. Ted, sometimes, Ted, when Golden State decided to use a small lineup and a depth lineup, you had 5 guys on the court that were all in sync and all in unison, all were about and all knew what was going on. Everybody was bought in, everybody was ready to rock and roll and do what they had to do. I can't call Brooklyn's group the best 5 because we haven't seen them together. Joe Harris missed all last season, so did Ben Simmons. Kyrie Irving played 27 games. Kevin Durant was basically the guy there all year long, and Steph Curry has been the only guy that's been consistently in the lineup. So, Ted, if you ask me in preseason, that Nets group is one of the most talented. But, Ted, as we all learn in the NBA, talent doesn't bring everything. Chemistry and camaraderie means everything. Chemistry means everything else. So, I like to see the talent, but Ben Simmons hasn't played basketball due to his back. Joe Harris is coming off, a Achilles injury, right, or ACL injury. So let me see how those guys look before I start handing out awards that they're the best. They're the new death lineup or everything else. Let us get through preseason. Let's get through the first month of the season, and let's circle back around to that one.
All right. Danny, what's the best ways we can find you? Where can we hear what you're doing? Where can we find your writing? All the above.
So you can find me on Twitter at DannyDANNY 3 Thompson on Twitter. And at the current moment, Ted, I'm taking a little bit of a small sabbatical from things. Getting some health in order, getting some things in order. But don't worry, Ted. Ted, you've known me for so many years. Like a cat, you know what happens, Ted. You know what cats do? They land on their feet. So, as soon as the next big step happens, I'll be on late night parents to be the first person to share what goes on, because that's why I think I've done that with every single thing I've ever done. Every time I made a move, I've been on late night parents within 24 hours.
Yeah, you have, and we've done some breaking news.
So this is not going to be any different. So I think I'll wait, and then when the time is right, I'll jump back on LNP, and I'll break the news then.
Got it. Hey, want to give a big shout out. Thank you to Tony D, Stevie Wonder, Lady for dropping in.
Thank you much.
And we are out.